Alright, chat, I'm officially live. I'm gonna show you're all able to hear me. Alright. Can you even hear me, chat? Can you even hear me, chat? Anyway. Yo, what's good, chat? How y'all feeling today? I'm feeling blessed. Back with more of me playing Telltale The Walking Dead Season 2. I have great news, chat. I'm gonna actually mention the shit I typically chat about. I'm gonna put the volume down though. I'm gonna mention the shit I typically chat about. Might as well. Okay, I don't necessarily want to hear that shit. So anyway, chat. I want to chat about the shit I typically chat about. I officially got my haircut today. It's currently 9:07 p.m. My phone is still glitching, unfortunately, but hey, I mean, it's an old phone. Something I want to chat about though, something I've done research on last night, something I just want to chat about. But yeah, I officially got my haircut. I officially got PS Plus as well. So unfortunately, Angel doesn't necessarily have it, so I have to play GT5 Online with my girl. Tomorrow, I'm actually heading to my dad's place, so I'm gonna be on the PS5 just for tomorrow, and just tomorrow, pretty much just tomorrow. And then afterwards, I'm gonna head to my mom's place, but just for Saturday. So I'm gonna, because I'm gonna head to the mall on Saturday. So anyway, I'm gonna mention the shit I typically chat about. Anyway, so anyway, chat, without further ado, let's get straight to the shit once for all. Let us, anyway, let's fucking get straight to the shit. I really want to play this. I would hope that each episode are short. From what I know, they definitely are. They definitely are. I know episode 1 is short, so like I'll be playing parts of episode 1 and you'll be like, wow, how did you complete it in like a couple hours, or like episode 2. I know that is quite short as well, episode 3, but then when it's like episode 4, it's a bit longer, whereas episode 5, it's from the moment Arvel was introduced to like the ending of episode 5. Don't want to mention it, but it is gonna be a badass moment. Clem, I know she killed Jane, or not Jane. She killed Kenny. But what did I choose last time? I'm pretty sure I went with Jane again. Or Jane, and then I went with her again. So this is the moment where I like leave her, Yeah, what she did is messed up. Low key, well. Okay, my phone's 72%. But my phone's 72%. Thank you goodness. Thank goodness I meant. Anyway, so I'm gonna play the shit out of it. But yeah, I want Clem to go alone. I feel like Jane didn't fucked up. So anyway, chat. So as I'm gonna chat about the shit I typically chat about. So anyway, as I specifically mentioned about all the political shit, all the business shit. So pretty much all the businesses Farhan Azhar and I are gonna consider running as CEOs and chairmen. But Naughty Dog, simply because him and I are gonna consider being business presidents, running Naughty Dog. Your mom mentions to you. Oh, gotcha. I got you. Yo, what's good, James? How you feeling about it? I was quite curious who's typing in the chat. Anyway, as I specifically mentioned about Elon Musk, Mark Zuckerberg, Bill Gates, Tim Cook, and Tim Sweeney, as I specifically mentioned about Donald Trump, Barack Obama, Joe Biden, Hillary Clinton, and Kamala Harris. So pretty much I'm going to be running for president within my late 40s. As I excuse me. Anyway, as I specifically mentioned about me being a WWE wrestler and just overall about WWE, so pretty much once I'm officially a WWE wrestler, or just about WWE over, you know, let us know. So yeah, once I'm officially a WWE wrestler, my ring name is gonna be pretty much my ring name. See me, chat. My ring name is gonna overall be so pretty much my ring name is gonna overall be either possibly Scorpion Prince or Prince Scorpion, and you could all mention what's in the chat. My babyface name is possibly gonna be Apex Mikey. I feel like it's a badass babyface name. Low Mikey would be like, once I'm a heel, I'll switch it to like similar to like Logan Paul, where people boo at him and all that shit, which I don't like it, but it's his heel character. If he's a babyface and individuals still boo at him, then they gotta let go of the past. It's very disgusting. Like, if people aren't necessarily dwelling on my past, despite me not being like Logan Paul, then there's no point of dwelling on his past, you know. Let us, you know. Anyway, because majority of humanity, they make mistakes, you know. Not necessarily me, but they do, you know. Not necessarily me, but they do, you know. Not necessarily me, but they do, you know. Not necessarily me, but you know, they do, you know. Let us, you know. Anyway, chat. Back to what I was mentioning. As I specifically mentioned about myself being an astronaut and just overall about the space missions. That haircut feels great because my mustache is like much shorter. Because I don't like it not quite near my lips. I'm possibly gonna shave my mustache off. Should I? Y'all think I should? I feel like I should. I want to see if it looks cool on me without a mustache but a beard. Like, why do you need to line them up? Like, people, you know, are like, oh no, you know. Bro, it's gonna grow out. If it's like permanently, yeah, but at the same moment, it's my body, not theirs, you know. Anyway, I just want to mention it. But yeah, about being an astronaut shit, as I specifically mentioned about all my family members chat, as I specifically mentioned about my dad and I homie Agron, my dad and I lady friend Helen, my dad and I, or excuse me, my dad's cousin Alan, which is pretty much my uncle Alan, which I all witnessed them. So I witnessed 2 last week. My dad and I homie Agron on Thursday when he brought his black truck. Him him and I, my dad and I, homie Agron were playing. We were playing WWE 2K26 before they hit the bar. My dad and I, homie Agron, hit the bar at a cigar shop, which I went ahead there. Like, I get it. He's gonna be like, "Oh, you're gonna smell," but bro, says the one smoking cigar. Like, you're gonna smell as well. Like, I can just spray like what body spray on me, or it's gonna potentially like when you're what's in the like the air can blow it away. You know? Because I know my jacket smelled a bit like weed last year though. So I'm gonna smell it and see what it smells like. I'm pretty sure it smells like weed. It low-key did. It low-key did though. You know? Like it for real did. Anyway, but no, they smell like cigars. And then my dad and I, homie Agron, and I all played this golf game. You have to have PS Plus to download it though. So that was overall cool, you know. And then my dad and I, homie Agron, had to leave, you know. Head towards his crib, you know. But hey, I mean, gotta work, you know. Gotta work. Anyway, my dad and my lady friend Helen and her daughter, not her sons, just her daughter and her daughter boyfriend, they occurred on Saturday. So pretty much like last Saturday. This Saturday, chat, you know, like this Saturday, chat, you know. Is when I'll hit the mall, so that'll be quite different. For me to upgrade my iCloud, I for real do want to, because like I just don't like it where like I can't actually take a picture of shit, you know. If someone mentioned, can I use your phone to take a picture, they're gonna be like, oh man, you gotta upgrade your storage, and I'm like, hey, I know. But hold up, if I pay $10, how many would that be, like a year? I'll wait until I get a job because I'll purchase it myself. I'll possibly use my debit card for that. So iCloud is one of the budgets I'll make as well. And my dad's cousin Alan, and you know, my uncle Alan, pretty much. That's, you know, he occurred last Sunday, you know, of this week, chat, you know, like this week, chat, you know, like you know. Anyway, as I specifically mentioned about my homie AZ, my homie Andrew, my homie Far Nazara and his twin brother John Nazara, so pretty much the Azara twins, they're my homies. As I specifically mentioned about my homie King K, my homie Tyler Whiteside, and my homie Dakota Bino. As I specifically mentioned about my ex-girl Amber, fuck her. As I specifically mentioned about my wife, or my girl Piper, my girlfriend Piper, and how I'm about to have 2 adopted daughters. One's gonna be 8, one is gonna be 12. Or 9. Right? You know what? 12 wouldn't necessarily matter, you know. Age don't necessarily matter, you know. Um. Well, anyway, and then I'm gonna have a biological daughter. Like I mentioned, chat, I gotta keep those secret because if your parents are very religious, they're very strict. They're like, you have to get married to have a kid. You have to have a wedding. And I'm like, and I don't have to mention married to God. Oh my Jesus Christ, I don't have to necessarily mention about that because marriage is through a wedding, you know. But I feel like it's more of like how committed you are with that girl, you know. But anyway, because you overall know about my non-religious beliefs and shit. Okay, that was Jesse. Yo, what's good, Jesse? How you feeling, brother? I was gonna say, you know, sometimes I sing glitches, so I'm like, who's watching, you know? And then if you know who's in here, or AZ or whatever, then I'll talk about Christian beliefs. If he's not, I'll talk about non-religious beliefs. Y'all know about the beliefs. So I don't have to say married to God, my Jesus Christ, and all that shit, unless, you know, he's here, you know. Let us know. Anyway, it doesn't necessarily matter, but that's why I'm gonna keep them a secret, because you know how my parents are. Let us know. Anyway, back, let's continue on. I'll just mention AZ that I'm joking again. Like, I'll just say, oh, I'm joking with you all, even though y'all know I'm serious. If he, you know, joins the chat, you know, let us know. Anyway, it seems like James is watching and Jesse, you know, let us know. Anyway. And I got some great news, chat. Well, I'll mention it afterwards. This is something I want to for real announce about what my girl and I have. It's not a kid, like a kid, like a human kid. Anyway, I'll be sure to mention it afterwards. It is a kid, but not a human kid. It's a pet, but I'll mention it afterwards. Something that, oh man, it's, you know. Anyway, see me chat. Anyway, so as I specifically mentioned about all the biblical shit, I typically don't necessarily chat about much unless AZ was here. Otherwise, you know, as I specifically mentioned about the aging laws, multiple meanings of the word minor. As I specifically mentioned about the aging laws. As I specifically mentioned about as I specifically mentioned about the Karshana family, the Hussein, as I specifically mentioned about Not Enough Nelsons, Jay from Cub Scouts, Mind of Rez, Aisha Speed, and Mr. Beast. Shout out goes to all of them regardless of what I mentioned about them, you know, let us know. Did my girl open my shit? No, so she's asleep. Okay. I love my girl though, you know. I even named her my first wife because she is gonna be my first wife. So, you know, it'd be great, you know, let us, you know. I'm actually gonna surprise her with a proposal ring, so I hope her brother does not necessarily mention it because apparently he would watch my stream. Or he would mention that I am overall live, you know, let us, you know. I'm hoping to play GTA with my boy Mason, but he don't necessarily got PS Plus. Which is her brother Mason. Anyway, as I specifically mentioned about biological immortality, biological indestructibility, being immune to pain / absence of pain, and as well never getting tired and never having to be able to sleep, you know. But despite never having to necessarily be able to sleep, See me chat. I never get tired, so the difference is I'll just never have to necessarily sleep. As I specifically mentioned about Earth being immortal, the universe, the stars, especially the sun, and all the planet oceans, especially Earth. Like Earth ocean being immortal. I feel like for it to be immortal is if the sun luminosity doesn't necessarily increase. Like, why would it increase, you know? That's just how it occurred when the Big Bang occurred, you know? Let us, you know. What's it called? See me chat. As I specifically mentioned about my hand getting dry within the winter, like possibly winter, because it never necessarily dried up when it was autumn. Possibly it was potentially occurring, but you know. So possibly like tonight I could put like Vaseline on my hands, wear the gloves, and just watch whatever on YouTube without having snacks. So I'm possibly gonna see if I can manage that, and I'll just wipe it on my shirt. Whatever Vaseline's on my finger, like, hey, some people they wipe it on their shirts, just so they don't have to go upstairs and wash their hand because especially I don't necessarily want my gloves to be like all greasy and shit, you know. Let us, you know. And then once it's all moist up, I'll throw it within the trash can, you know. Let us, you know. Anyway. Anyway, as I specifically mentioned about my therapist chat, as I specifically mentioned about damn, it's like Thursday, that's wild. It's about to be officially Friday tomorrow. Officially Friday. Anyway, if that all, because when I mentioned that's all, then you know. Oh, as I specifically mentioned about how I hate charging my phone, how my phone glitches, and how my hand gets dry. Yeah, I feel that's all. Oh, one more thing. As I specifically mentioned about my mucus buildup and how the causation of the nasal congestion, which is very rare, which I referred it to as being a minor sickness. So as I specifically mentioned about that shit, you know, the causation of that is specifically associated with my mucus buildup. So as I specifically mentioned about that shit, as I specifically mentioned about like my acid reflux, vomiting, and diarrhea. Quite hilarious, but as I specifically mentioned about all that, and the causation of all that shit is Crohn's disease, so as I specifically mentioned about all that shit, you know. So anyway, I feel that's all. So yeah, as I specifically mentioned about all that shit, you know, like within my recent license chat, as I specifically mentioned about all that shit, you know, and gonna continue to chat about all that shit, you know, let us, you know. But yeah, as I specifically mentioned about all that shit, you know, let us, you know, like within this current license chat, you know, like within this current license chat, you know, and you know, within this current license chat, you know, like within this current license chat, you know, and what I could possibly mention about all that shit, you know, again as well. You know, what's up my future license chat, you know, let us, you know. Anyway, so I'm gonna continue playing. So when I chat about my beliefs, I gotta be aware. You know, let us, you know. Just when AZ's not watching, let us, you know. Anyway, if he is, then I talk about Christianity. If not, then if he's not necessarily watching, then I'll chat about my true beliefs, my non-religious beliefs, Because, you know, I don't necessarily mention married to God of my Jesus Christ like I used to be. I just mention once I get married, but I'm gonna have a kid regardless. Like, males are the creators, but the woman's DNA is absorbed by, like, it interferes with the child DNA, so pretty much, you know, it doesn't matter. Being married means you want to be with that person. It doesn't necessarily matter when you have a kid. Typically, religious people take that shit seriously, like it's a consequence type of shit. But yeah, if AZ's wasn't there, I'll talk about Christianity, goes to flow as if I am Christian. But if he's not necessarily here, then I'll chat about non-religious shit. You know, let us know. Anyway, I'm gonna continue. Just if he's here, you know, whenever, you know, let us know. Anyway, if I update my YouTube, I get to see who's watching. Let us know. That's the whole point. I'm gonna get a new iPhone. You know, let us know. Anyway, I want to get a new iPhone. But yeah, what I wanted to announce. Okay, what I wanted to overall announce is my girl Piper officially got herself a new puppy 2 days ago, and I'm like, congrats. Like, bro, the puppy is so cute. It's like, I want to squeeze it, not like to suffocate it or squish it. Well, pretty much it's suffocating. You can't squish a creature, right? Who knows? But it was suffocating. I wouldn't necessarily do that. I meant like deep hugging, cause bro, it's so cute, bro. It's like 8 weeks old, and next week is 9 weeks. So pretty much, who knows when it's gonna be 1 year old? It's like a puppy, you know. And pretty much she considered it as my daughter as well. So pretty much I have a kid, but it's a human kid, or excuse me, not human kid. A kid as like a dog. So like it's her and I child. If you can take care of a dog, then you can definitely take care of a human child. What's quite different is it has to wear clothes. It has to have breastfeeding before formula. So pretty much if I have a child, I'll get a baby clothes, booster, or like a car seat, car seat, high chair, car seat, clothing. My wife is the provider for food, breastfeeding, potentially formula. So once like he or she is able to have formula, a crib, because it's sleeping on a bed is not necessarily safe, simply because, well, it can fall off the bed and that can lead to it dying or injury. Pretty much dying, and that's on you if you get your baby a bed. No, it needs a crib because it's like a fence, like a mini fence where it doesn't necessarily interfere and it can remain in the bed. Would I trust my friends holding it? I mean, it can die from it getting sick. So that's why mothers and fathers, but typically a mother, when they bring their child, it's typically cautious about the child, you know. So like Piper is like, it's gonna be like, I'm very cautious about my child, you know. I don't necessarily want it to die, you know. Because majority of humanity, they carry germs. Potentially in like thousands of years or even hundreds of years or decades later, potentially that won't necessarily be an issue, you know. Like if I wanted to smoke weed or vape, smoke hookah, cigars, I would go outdoors. Especially vaping can even it can affect my baby. So y'all gotta realize, chat, once you have a child, you gotta be aware. But anyway, yeah, that it's pretty much her night puppy. I mean, I never met it in person, but it recognized my voice. It knows what I look like. It trusts me. I gotta be honest. It is It's very cute. I'll be sure to introduce it with my vlogging channel, the same exact vlogging channel. Single as I have that shit. It's within my it's within the app. Once I update my YouTube, it's just gonna log me back in within the app. It doesn't necessarily mention, oh, you're signing out and all that shit. You know. Just overall, you know, let us know anyway. But yeah, anyway, chat. But yeah, it's officially well, not officially, but it's 8 weeks old. Not officially 8 weeks. Well, I mean, I would say I would say like Sunday it was officially 8 weeks because each week the week overall changes for the baby or the puppy. Puppy is a term of referring to a baby dog. Especially, but for wolves they're referred to as pups, not puppies. Unless they are, because dogs are descendants of wolves, you know, let us know. Just certain breeds, you know, let us know. Like humans, instead of breeds, it's race. Like nationality, ethnicity, race, culture. Culture is a group. It's your own kind, just different groups. Let us know anyway. Like the Sentinelese, they are humans. They are just within nature where there's no germs. So apparently they are afraid of germs. So if I were to head within the island, they would be like, don't interfere, you're gonna bring bacteria, viruses. Or they just have PTSD and it's very severe for them, you know, let us know anyway. Or who knows what the Sentinelese have, you know, let us know anyway. Once I'm biologically immortal, biologically indestructible, and have absence of pain, especially never getting tired and never having to fall asleep, synchronous. Guess what, chat? Guess what? But yeah, guess what, chat? What did I mention? Are just within bacteria, viruses, or they just have PTSD and it's very severe for them, you know, let us know anyway. Or who knows what the Sentinelese have, you know, let us know anyway. Once I'm biologically immortal, biologically indestructible, and have absence of pain, or being immune to it, you know, being immune to it, especially never getting tired and never having to fall asleep, synchronous. Guess what, chat? But yeah, guess what, chat? That'd be cool, you know, that'd be a cool feeling. Like, I get to travel the world without, you know, having to get jet lag, you know. Is what they refer to when you go within a far distance, you know, let us, you know. Especially the different timelines. Like, if you're within the US and you're heading to the UK, for example, and it's currently nighttime at the moment there, then you're like, oh my gosh, why exactly is it nighttime over there overall? Let us, you know. My girl and I want to head to England and bring my daughter there, my adopted daughters, and you know, daughter itself, you know, like my biological daughter, she'll be like a baby or toddler or whatever, you know, let us, you know. But yeah, the puppy, you know, I love it, and I'm gonna visit it in exactly 3.5 months. It's gonna be cool, for real though. It's gonna be cool. Let us, you know, anyway. See me, chat. I know, chat. without further ado, let's get straight to the shit. Once for all, let us, Anyway, let's fucking get straight to the shit. Let's continue.
Of it, and I'm gonna visit in exactly 3.5 months. It's gonna be cool. For real though, it's gonna be cool. Let us, anyway. See you, chat. Hey, chat. Without further ado, let's get straight to the shit. Once for all, let us, Anyway, let's fucking get straight to the shit. Let's continue. Let's get straight to the shit. Once for all, let us.
Alright, anyway. Alrighty. Yep, apparently Clem, yeah, like I mentioned, she's within North Carolina, because according to what it mentioned, let us, anyway, that got fucked up. Clem's like, I remember when Kenny looked for a boat. I mean, that's a canoe, though, overall. Here, you got this, Clem? How exactly the stairs, the wooden stairs broke?
Krista, are you there?
Unfortunately, there's no Krista. Unfortunately, Krista is dead. My phone's 80%. My phone is officially dead. That's it, dead? The tree is dead, now my phone's dead. What? Oh, hell no. I would not think when my phone's dead. Oh, hell no. I meant the tree is dead. The tree is dead. Not my phone. Yikesies. Grave. You wanna dig it, Clem? You wanna be a scientist and, ensure its body is not necessarily fucked? Oh yeah, another thing I wanna mention though, but I'm not gonna necessarily pause it or whatever. Hold on, before I mention that shit though.
Unfortunately, there's no Krista. Unfortunately, Krista is dead. My phone's 80%. My phone is officially dead. That's it, dead? The tree is dead, now my phone's dead. What? Oh, hell no. I would not think when my phone's dead. Oh, hell.
I meant to say Krista's dead, but I don't want to mention it like that because that's fucked up because Krista is dead. But no, the tree is dead. No, not the phone,
I meant the tree is dead. The tree is dead.
Or like Krista, but like, the tree is dead, Let us know. It's dead, it got tipped over.
Yikesies. But yeah, another thing I want to mention though.
But yeah, another shit I want to mention. So I did research, and something I don't necessarily believe is, so apparently according to research, it mentions that human will go into extinction within millions of years, and I'm like to myself, that's not necessarily possible, simply because if medical advancements are facts, like biological immortality, biological indestructibility, being immune / absence of pain, like immune to pain / absence of pain, and as well never getting tired and not necessarily having to fall asleep. Especially Earth being immortal, the universe being immortal, the sun, especially other stars being immortal, and Earth's ocean, especially other planets' oceans are immortal, especially other creatures, and as well marine life is immortal. Then they'll live longer, because what if individuals want to hunt it? And if there's no point of hunting it, then there's no point of it dying, But those individuals hunt would want it to live longer, Anyway. Yeah, but apparently it mentions that. But I wouldn't necessarily be ceasing to exist. I would never, obviously. I'm not meant to die. And majority of humanity that would consider biological immortality, biological indestructibility, being immune to pain / absence of pain, and as well never getting tired and never having to fall asleep. Which for me, I never get tired, but I would never fall asleep if I consider all four of those shit. That would pretty much majority of humanity wouldn't necessarily cease to exist. So meaning humans itself won't necessarily go into extinction. So pretty much majority of humanity. And then as well it mentions that simply because when the continents combine together, that would cause extinction as well, but especially for other mammals. But I feel like for majority of humanity and other mammals, I feel they wouldn't necessarily go into extinction. That's just bullshit. And then another research I did was, would iPhones be a thing within thousands or millions of years? Well, I didn't necessarily mention within thousands of years, but I mentioned millions of years. For example, on exactly the year 1 million, it mentioned no, it won't necessarily be a thing. I feel like Apple iPhones could, if they don't necessarily run out of ideas, So if we can remain on exactly the year 1 million, or the year 250 million CE, meaning Common Era, then I feel iPhones could be a thing, and other creatures that are mammals, or just creatures overall, because the Earth can not survive specifically, but it can thrive, It's like a temperate, habitable planet. That's the whole point. We have 4 seasons, but within a habitable planet. Within other planets, it's more temperature-wise specifically, not landscape changing-wise, in terms of the climate or the temperature itself. Climate is the weather and shit, and difference in temperature changes, but it's not necessarily just temperature changes. Once those changes, the landscape as well would change. Like the grass, for example, being green. Anyway. That's just something I wanted to mention, because it mentioned within millions of years. It mentions that, but I don't necessarily believe it. Oh, because our ancestors occurred on exactly the year 2 million BCE, before Common Era. Yeah, I feel like that's bullshit, because we can surpass beyond when our ancestors existed, which is pretty much potentially us, so pretty much me, as a human being, but as well, majority of humanity, but overall, majority of humanity, anyway. For example, how I mentioned majority of humanity, they make mistakes, Not necessarily me, but them, Not necessarily me, but them, Not necessarily me, but them, Not necessarily me, Not necessarily me, So, not necessarily me, not necessarily me, but them, Let us know. Anyway. That's what I wanted to mention, Let us know. Anyway. Because Apple iPhones are immediate communication. We are complex creatures. Despite Earth's continents combining, extinction won't necessarily occur, and Apple iPhone won't necessarily be ancient. And as well, Earth would survive, but as well thrive. Let us know. And I know I mentioned we are complex creatures. I'm more complex, but majority of humanity are just quite complex compared to me, So I'm more complex, but majority of humanity, they are either quite complex or a bit complex compared to me being more complex, but majority of humanity being quite complex or a bit complex, Let us know. Anyway, let's continue. Let's continue on with the game and just enjoying this shit, Let us know. Anyway. That's a dead tree, see? When trees fall, they're dead simply because they'll rot. Not like disgustingly rot, but like just rot overall, Let us know. Like the wood would disintegrate. It would be quite old, Let us know. Quite cold, huh, Clem? Possibly after 2 episodes, I'm gonna watch something on YouTube. Or possibly not. I'll be interested to play episode 3 and then episode 4. Y'all know what episode I want to consider playing. Interesting. I love crows. I want to eat a crow. Like I can hunt one and then eat its flesh. I mean, hey, we eat other creatures' flesh, and then, majority of humanity, they're complaining. I mean, hey, other creatures, they sacrifice themselves. Come on, bruh.
It's okay, boy. It's okay.
I'm gonna consider checking his collar.
Sam. Oh, nice to meet you, Sam. What's he doing? Sam! Sam! Where are you going? Wait up!
So 2 mammals, human aka Clem or Clementine, and a dog named Samuel or Sam. But yeah, majority of humanity, they complain about certain individuals consuming the other creatures' meat. Typically mammals though, don't they have majority of the meat? Well, we eat birds, actually, so not just mammals. Because turkeys are considered birds, chicken are considered birds, Are those the birds we typically eat? I know some people that eat ducks. I know some people that can eat raccoons, or is that like illegal to like hunt them and just have their flesh? I never had raccoon, but y'all realize, chat, you're not just gonna kill them and then eat them like that. You gotta tear their body up. And I know it's disgusting if someone showed it on YouTube, and I feel like they shouldn't. They can show you how to hunt, but don't show it on YouTube. Ugh, I don't want to see that. Well, sometime if they do show it, it will mention this video is disturbing for some individuals. So if I don't necessarily mind watching it, then I'm sure it would be cool, you know, for them to post it. But for some people, if they click on it, they're gonna be like, ugh, yeah, I'm definitely not gonna necessarily watch that. Or they will just click it regardless and feel so disgusted, like, ugh, you know. Hey, like what they refer to dogs, man's best friend. Well, simply because I feel like when human evolution occurred, it was just males, and then females occurred afterwards. Unless it was males and females, and then males were within some part of Africa, and females were within some part, and then they... When humans came into existence, was it male? I feel like it was male and females. And if you're quite curious, what was the first creature? It was definitely an invertebrate. Or who knows? I could watch a video. There's like a video where you can watch the evolution of Earth, or like the evolution of creatures. Like, what was the first creature and how the male and female became a thing? Were those cells within the ocean and they just occurred? Like an embryo with cells and males and females occurred? And then that's how there are male and female humans. Well, mammals and then humans, because we're not the first mammals. I feel like rodents were the first mammals. But I'm going to have to be sure to do my research, because I know rodents were. And then as mammal evolved, and you know. And I love mammals. I mean, mammals are the... I wouldn't say... I mean, they are the greatest creatures, actually. They're complex. But humans are more complex than other creatures. But I'm more complex than majority of humanity, simply because majority of humanity, they are a bit complex, whereas some are quite complex, you know, just in terms of their intelligence, you know, simply because I'm super intelligent, you know, Linus, you know, so, you know, simply because my IQ obviously is 500, I keep that very secretive, like, I keep it low-key, you know, Linus, you know, so pretty much I have a higher IQ, you know, minus 500, that's why, or that's the whole point I mentioned, that I'm more complex, whereas majority of humanity, they are a bit complex, whereas some are quite complex. But majority of humanity, you know, majority of humanity overall, you know, they are a bit complex, you know, let us, you know, anyway. Right, let's consider observing the box. Just something to be honest about, and I don't necessarily want individuals to be jealous. They would be grateful to have someone that is super intelligent, which is me, you know, which I'm overall super intelligent, you know, let us, you know, anyway. Yeah, for sure, Clem. You know, it's great to be honest, because if you're not necessarily honest, I mean, yeah, I mentioned, yeah, I love lying just to defend myself, but I'm not gonna lie like, oh, I'm 88 years old and I look young. That would be cool, but back then there wasn't technology like that, so that would be a lie, you know, that would not be a white lie. I mean, hey, I go with the flow, and people are gonna be like, why are you lying? Hey, if you want to hide your beliefs because you just admit to yourself that you're a Christian to other individuals and you change your mind about your beliefs, well, you're defending yourself from lying. You're not gonna lose subs. Like, look at me, I have 571 subs. People can hate Logan Paul, and that's disrespectful. Him and I, we're humble, but I'm more humble than him because just the way he acts sometimes. But hey, I love him, that's just him. But then he apologizes, so that's just him.
I can't tell.
That's just him, you know.
Maybe we better not wait around and find out.
It's possibly gonna be some bears and shit. I'm playing. This is North Carolina. I feel like there's no bears what's in there. But what's y'all thoughts? Y'all think mammals are like the greatest animals? Because I know birds, they are, because yeah, they can fly, they can do their shit. But overall, like, but yeah, so what I mean is, I know exactly everything, you know. I have exactly 500 IQ, you know. I'm super intelligent, and I'm more complex compared to majority of humanity, whereas majority of humanity, they are a bit complex, but some or certain of them are quite complex. But overall, majority of humanity, you know, majority of humanity are a bit complex, you know. Let us, you know, anyway, like how they cut down trees. They put plenty of fuel within the vehicles when it can be fuel efficient, being able to balance it to ensure the atmosphere is protected in terms of the ozone layers, which is going to be healed or recovered on exactly the year 2060 CE of the 21st century, and to ensure the environment is perfect as well. Do I have a perfect life? I mean, hey, I can mention that, you know, I have a girl, you know. And why do we have girls? Because that's how we continue the population. And people are like, and excuse me, I mentioned people because we are the only ones that have languages with words, you know. Like how I do, you know. Hold up, excuse me. Let me pause this real quick. Like how I do, you know. But as well, majority of humanity, you know. Let us, you know. But overall, you know, majority of humanity, you know. Let us, you know. You know, majority of humanity, you know. Let us, you know. Anyway, in terms of like them, you know. Let us, you know. Anyway. Okay, I'm gonna consider playing with the Thursby. Apparently, it's referred to as a flying disc, but obviously that's a Thursby. Were they created within the Ice Age, or when exactly were they made? Well, obviously not the Ice Age, no. Definitely not the Ice Age.
Fine. It's your decision. Do what you think is right.
Alright. I mean, hey, we have iPhones, you know, and we're the only ones that typically use iPhones. Other creatures, they can't necessarily use iPhones or even create them. So like, And I'm pretty sure because we have 2 hands, and yes, primates, other primate individuals like gorillas, monkeys, all that shit, they can stand on 2 feet, but majority of them, they crawl, and I feel like we're the only primates. I mean, yeah, apes, but their minds are smaller, so we're the only ones with larger brains, and we have 2 hands, so our mind, or our nerves connect to our brain from our spinal cord, associated with our spine, which is our skeleton, and connected towards our hand nerves. That's how we create iPhones. We use our hands, you know. Like whenever we work, we use our hands, and then we walk with our feet. So that's pretty much the whole point, you know, why technology risen, you know, simply because of humanity, or you know, majority of humanity. I mean, yeah, I can create these shit, obviously, like I specifically mentioned, you know, like how I mentioned that I have exactly 500 IQ, I'm super intelligent, I'm more complex, and I know exactly everything, you know. Like, you know, I know, you know, like I know exactly everything, you know, Linus, you know. So that's the whole point, you know. Linus, you know, anyway. But compared to like majority of humanity, you know, Linus, you know, anyway. Yeah, you know, compared to like majority of humanity, you know, Linus, you know, anyway. I'm gonna go back to where I left off, you know, Linus, you know. But like I mentioned, you know, compared to like majority of humanity, you know. Linus, you know, anyway.
Anyway. Absence of pain, and as well, don't necessarily believe it. There are male and female humans, and I know it's disgusting if someone showed on YouTube, and I feel like they shouldn't. They can show you how to hunt, but don't show it on YouTube. Unless they mind watching it, or they will just click it. But like what they refer to dogs, man's best friend. Well, simply because I feel like when human evolution occurred, it was just males, and then females occurred after. It was when humans came to invertebrate creatures. Like, what was the first creature, and how the male and female became a thing? Were those and then that's how there are male and female humans. Well, mammals and then humans, because we're not the first mammals. I feel like rodents were the first mammals. Actually, they're complex. Majority of humanity, simply because majority of humanity, you know,
Anyway, you know, let us know anyway, because like I mentioned, chat, I have exactly 500 IQ, I know exactly everything, because like, you know, I have exactly 500 IQ, I know exactly everything, I'm super intelligent, and more complex, you know, compared to like majority of humanity, simply because majority of humanity are a bit complex, whereas certain are quite complex. But overall, you know, majority of humanity, you know, majority of humanity are a bit complex, you know. Let us, you know, anyway. Let's continue. Let's, you know, anyway. And possibly after whatever scene I'm possibly gonna end it. Or actually, I know I want to continue more of it just over, you know, let's, you know, but actually I'm gonna end right here. If you want to see more of me playing Telltale The Walking Season 2, be sure to leave a comment down below. I'll leave some end right. Take it easy, chat. I'm not gonna necessarily close the application, I'm just gonna like end it right here, just over, you know,